My new wife cheated on our honeymoon, so I ghosted her and took all our stuff with me. Guys, I need to share this story with you all because it's been the craziest and most surreal experience of my life. My heart is still racing, and I'm not sure if I'll ever fully recover, but here goes. My wife, Emma, and I had just gotten married, and we were spending our honeymoon in paradise. We chose a beautiful beach resort to celebrate our love and relax after months of stressful wedding planning. The first day went great. We were enjoying the sun, the sand, each other's company, and all of the other things that you'd enjoy on a honeymoon. However, I started noticing something odd on the second day. We were at the beach when Emma suddenly decided she needed to go back to the room to use the bathroom and grab more drinks. No big deal, except that she was gone for almost an hour. I didn't think much of it at first, but when it happened again on day 3, I couldn't help but feel suspicious. So, on the 4th day, when Emma once again announced that she needed to head back to the room, I decided to follow her. I told her I'd stay at the beach, but as soon as she was out of sight, I got up and trailed her from a safe distance. When she got near the pool at the resort, I noticed a man sitting there who waved to her and then immediately got up and made his way to her. She smiled and waved back and waited for him to find himself at her side before continuing to walk. I kept on following her and then watched them both get into the elevator. The stairs were right next to the elevator and the resort only had 3 floors, so I bolted up to floor 2 and peeked out the door. That's when I saw her entering a different room with the guy. I had seen him hanging around the beach. He was this muscular, sun-tanned dude who'd been giving her lingering looks, but I never thought she'd be interested. My heart sank. The door closed behind them, and I was left standing there in disbelief. I mean, I'm a good-looking guy too with a nice build and plenty of money, so what the hell did this guy have that I didn't? I was beyond devastated, but I knew I had to act quickly. The last thing I wanted was a public confrontation, so in my intense anger I went back to our room, packed up our luggage, and made the decision to ghost her entirely. I snatched both room keys and left her with nothing but her swimsuit she was wearing when she entered his room, and her ID which I left at the front desk when I checked out. I told them that this woman would probably come here asking about her room key and that she would need this. I know that was an ass move, but seriously, I wanted to make it as difficult for her to get back home as possible. Plus, I needed time to get back and get my things before she could figure out what the hell happened and then catch up with me. As I made my way to the parking lot, my hands were shaking and my emotions were all over the place. But I was resolute in my decision. I got into our car and started the 5.5-hour drive back home, leaving Emma behind to face the consequences of her actions. A few days later, after I moved out of our apartment, Emma's mother called me and I answered. She began to rail me about everything that I did and to tell me what her daughter had to go through just to get back home. Here's how it went. Apparently, Emma was in full-on panic mode. Imagine that, LOL. When she realized I was gone, she frantically tried to get back into our room, only to find that she was locked out. She had no clothes, no money, and no way to contact me. Yes, I even took her cell phone. After trying in vain to reach me from the hotel lobby phone and begging the hotel staff to let her into the room, they finally let her in, only to find that I had taken everything. At this point, she had no choice but to call her parents and explain the situation. After asking her 100 times what could have caused me to be such a jerk to her and to ghost her like that, she finally had to admit that she had cheated with a guy at the hotel and that I must have somehow found out. Her parents, of course, were furious, but they wired her money so she could buy some clothes and rent a car to drive back home. I can only imagine the embarrassment she must have felt as she made that call, but at the time, I couldn't care less. As a matter of fact, I still don't care. It took hours for all of this to transpire. I just wish I could have seen the look on her face as she started her suffering. But Emma's ordeal didn't end there. Apparently, the rental car she got turned out to have a faulty gas gauge, and it showed she had more fuel than she actually did. So, she ran out of gas in the middle of nowhere, stranded on the side of the road, still reeling from the shock of everything that had happened. She had to call for roadside assistance, and she had to wait for an hour for them to arrive and fill her tank. It must have been a humbling experience for her, and I can't help but think that maybe, in some way, she got what she deserved. Imagine 1 second being on your honeymoon, sitting on the beach, eating delicious food, escaping every care in the world, and just hours later, you're stranded on the side of the road, hungry and abandoned. Yeah, she deserved that. Anyway, I reached our apartment way before she did. My buddy met me there to help me, and I had plenty of time to pack my belongings and move out, though I did so in record time. I didn't even leave her a note. I didn't want to give her the satisfaction of a face-to-face confrontation either. She didn't deserve that. By the time she got back to our apartment, I was long gone. My phone was blowing up with missed calls and texts from her, but I didn't bother to respond. Her betrayal had cut me too deep, and I couldn't bear to hear her voice or see her name on my screen. So I changed my phone number and deleted her contact info from my phone. I also unfriended her and blocked her on Messenger. I left no direct path for her to get to me. In the days that followed, I received messages from her friends and family through Facebook, some berating me for my actions, others sympathizing with me and offering their support. I didn't even respond to any of them. It was a whirlwind of emotions, but I knew deep down that I had made the right choice. My trust in Emma was shattered, and there was no coming back from that. A few weeks after the incident, I finally received a long letter from Emma. She sent it to my parents' house. It was filled with apologies and explanations for her actions. She tried to justify her behavior, claiming it was a momentary lapse in judgment and that she still loved me. While I could see the pain in her words, it didn't change the fact that she had betrayed me in the worst possible way. I didn't respond to the letter, and I haven't spoken to her since. So that's it. That's my story. Well, he didn't give an inch there, did he? Why would she cheat on him literally a few days into their marriage? Did he take his revenge too far? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. When you subscribe, be sure to click the notification bell. Click here for more Tangled threads.